We will get started. Day two. Okay, everybody, welcome. We just close off some of these screens, all the technical bits and bobs. So, welcome back, everyone, and we are here on day two of Manifest by Design. So, before we start, I want you to kind of take a breath, okay? I want us all to get onto the same frequency. This morning, I was just sitting out in the sun, relaxing. I was just in a really nice energy, a really nice energy of gratitude. And the birds were singing, and the butterflies were landing upon my trousers, and the butterflies were just landing on my trousers. And I was just sitting thinking how beautiful this day is, how absolutely gorgeous this day is. But I do know not everyone has had the same start to the day. And what I'm meaning is that some of us may have got up this morning and maybe had a fallout. Someone might have been an argument. There might have been something happened throughout the day. So I've had days like that as well. A lot of the time, I have days like that. But you can restart your day at any time. It doesn't just have to be the morning, or you don't just have to have a bad day and then go into the next day and the next day. You can draw a line on it and you can say, right, from this moment now, I am starting my day again. All right. So take a breath. Every single one of us, take a breath and settle in. And if you're joining us for the first time today, welcome. I'm so happy and so glad to see you here. And you are exactly where you need to be. And for those of you who were here yesterday, I want to ask you something, okay? Or anyone that's maybe watched the replay from yesterday, how did you sleep last night? Did you sleep differently? Did something feel maybe a wee bit lighter this morning? And the reason I'm asking this is because maybe we can't name it, okay? We can't name it. We feel the energy shifting, but something actually is shifting. And when I talk about energy, it's not all woo woo. It is, we believe in the Wi Fi that's connecting me here in the south of France to each and every one of you, that's connecting my computer and everything, but I can't see that Wi Fi connecting it. And this is why I talk about energy. You can't see something changing, but you know something is changing. So when we figured out yesterday, it wasn't our truth. We looked at it as just programming. And when we realize something's just programming, pardon me, when we realize something's just programming, we realize that that's a learned behavior. And if it's a learned behavior, we can relearn what we want. So the moment that you understand that that program is running the show on default, okay? Running the show that's actually taking you to where, giving you the same results that you don't want anymore. And you're thinking, right, well, I have a choice here. I can either let this program continue to run or I can shift it. I can decide, and the exact name of this masterclass today is Manifest by Design. 1 second, my phone is going crazy here. Sorry, I thought I had that switched off. So this is the truth. And even last night, once you know something, once you become aware of something, it is only then that it can be changed. So a lot of us don't even have the realization that we are running by default. A lot of us don't even have the realization that there is a program there. Now, you will hear me talking about paradigms. You will hear me talking about programs. You will hear me talking about all this. But really, basically, what it is, if you imagine yourself as just this wonderful, amazing, phenomenal computer with the program that's inside it, that all the data is stored there, and you're just running from what that data is saying. That just your everyday life is just showing up exactly the same. You're wanting something different, but the same results keep showing up. So whenever we have the awareness, right, well, the results aren't what I want them to be. Why is it happening to me? We don't come from the thought of why is it happening? All right, because we have no idea why. Or we don't ask, how am I going to get to there? We go into the understandings of who do I have to be there. And this is why today we're going to go a wee bit deeper. Okay? It is only now that you're aware of that from yesterday and caught up on it, and we go deeper today. So before we dive in, I want to acknowledge something. Anyone that's here on day two, anyone that is here on the replay of day two, I want you to really give yourself a huge celebration because that was a decision. Even though you may think it was a small decision, it was a powerful decision. It was a powerful decision to show up for yourself. It's not for me. This is for yourself to show up today again. And that's your new identity already working. I remember even at the start of my journey, see that bottom right hand corner, that little X button. I always had the arrow hovering over that. I was horrified, terrified. I mean, did not want to go on even a call. And if I went in, I wouldn't have went back maybe the next day. And then time and time and time again, this would have kept showing up. Then I would have maybe felt uncomfortable and I would have left. So now I've reprogrammed myself to be on the front, to be the first one with the hand up, to be there all the time. So with you being here, this is what I want you to understand. You're already becoming that version. You're already becoming that version. So let us talk about today. Yesterday is done, it is gone. So let's talk about today. Yesterday was about awareness, okay? Awareness of the default story that you've been living your life. And sometimes we don't even realize that default story. Sometimes whenever we really looked into it yesterday, whether it was relationships, whether it was finances, it didn't matter what it was that showed up yesterday. But you've uncovered the stories. You've identified that old identity. And as much as we love every version of ourselves, from this moment on, we have made that irrevocable committed decision to choose something different. And when we choose something different and the old pattern keeps coming up, it's very easy to just go back into the old pattern. It's very easy just to, it might be something as simple as deciding that you want to be an early riser. I told myself for years I was a night owl. I loved the evenings. I was up late every single night and I would have slept on in the morning. And then I would have been late everywhere I was going, everything that I was doing. I was rush, 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 rush. Didn't catch up until probably the afternoon. So I had to change that pattern. Didn't have to, I wanted to. So there's a difference in energy between having to and want to. So you don't have to do anything at all. I'm not going to add more pressure to any of you at all. What I want you to look at is what is it that you want? 99% of people is living life without even having a realization of what it is they want. They may think they want more money, but money's a magnifier. And that hit me hard because I thought money was literally, it was going to take me out of the problems I was in. It was going to solve everything. And money's just a magnifier. So if I was in maybe debt, or if I was worried, or if I was stressed, or it wasn't going to do anything. If my internal programming was still one of lack, if my internal program was still one of being unworthy, if my internal program was still one of having a money paradigm, a money problem, the more money I had, I would still have that internal programming. So the same thing was going to show up. And whether you're living in whatever country you're in, wherever, no matter where you can move countries, you can change relationships, you can change your financial situation, but it's your internal programming that goes with you everywhere. So it's that story that we identified yesterday that we're going to shift. So because things change, things will change, life changes, everything changes and we change with them. And I believe that so much because I've got that as a tattoo literally since I was probably in my 20s. All things change and we change with them. But it doesn't happen in the mind alone. It happens in your energy. It happens in the body. It happens in the frequency that you're operating from every single day. And that's exactly what this is about today. So I want you to understand we're not just this physical body. I believed that I was this physical body. But when we look at this is only part of who we are. We live in 3 planes. My very first mentor taught me this. And I studied it like a scientist about living on 3 planes. We're a spiritual being having this physical experience with an intellect. So what we are doing here today, we're looking at shifting that intellect, that mindset of where your mind is set. If you think, as we spoke about yesterday, you have to work harder, if you think that you have to do A, B, and C, if you believe yourself to be that night owl, if you believe yourself to be a morning person, if you believe yourself to be successful, if you believe, but we go into the depths of the belief. So I want to teach you all something that changed my life completely, absolutely completely, when I accepted an idea. And my clients would say to me now, how long is this going to take? How long before I see a difference? In the coaching industry, nobody can tell you. It's how quick can you accept an idea. There could be people studying this material for maybe 20, 30 years. That doesn't impress me at all. Why? Because they may not have embodied it. So if somebody says to me, but I've been doing this, this, and this, well, the results are still the same, so you haven't embodied it. And this is where the energy comes in. Every single thing is energy. And I know you've heard this probably before, but today I want you to feel what it means. The feeling, not just the thinking, but the feeling. So we come from the thinking, the thoughts, the feelings, and then the action that we're going to take. These are the three things that I'm really going to take you step by step with. So you became aware yesterday, but now you're understanding that your thoughts are energy. The words that you're saying are energy. Your emotions are energy. Right down to your beliefs. Your beliefs are energy. And the frequency. We go back to the Wi-Fi that we can't see, okay? So the frequency that you vibrate at, that energetic state that you're living from this moment, in this moment now, from moment to moment, is your point of attraction. So we know the universal law, so many beautiful universal laws, and one of them is the law of attraction. And we've heard it. It was broadcast so widely worldwide when The Secret came out. But they don't go into the depths of what the law of attraction is. And we say, I want to manifest this and I'm going to use the law of attraction to bring it towards me. You know that's how it works. But when you understand the underlying forces of it, so if my thoughts are energy, my words are energy, my emotions are energy, the beliefs that I have is energy, and the frequency that you vibrate on is energy. So what energetic state are you on? We can write out our goal. And I know we haven't even really looked at our goals yet, but we can write out, I'm so happy and grateful now that I am living wherever you want to live. I am earning X amount, whatever that may be. But then your thoughts comes from it. How's that going to be possible for me? And your words that you're saying, things aren't never work out for me. That's not possible for me. Your emotions underlyingly, the drop down in your stomach whenever you get a bill that comes in, or the drop down in your stomach when you think about you wanting to do something, but you don't have the finances to do that. So this is where all your beliefs then kick into force. So when this is your point of attraction, and you have your thoughts, your words, your emotions, and your beliefs all aligned, every single one of them, you're thinking thoughts of success, you're thinking thoughts of prosperity, you're thinking thoughts of abundance, your words are speaking it into existence. Oh my goodness, I am so grateful that there's a money overflowing, finances coming into my account. And I talk in money because we can measure to the last penny. But whatever that lifestyle is for you, mine at the start of my journey was, as I shared with you guys yesterday, and from the video at the start of this lesson today, it was just pure happiness because I was lost. I was lost. I was broken internally, externally. I was just in such a state that I know that I got to that point then just to rise from it. So, is the signal that you are broadcasting to the universe or God, God of your understanding, what is that signal that you're broadcasting to? What do you believe to be true for you? The moment that you're broadcasting this out, because we are, if you want to talk about the broadcasting station, but we're also the receiving station, your antenna is just constantly broadcasting all the time. And sometimes we are sending out double binding messages. We're saying we want A, B, and C, But we're saying then, I want that, but I can't have that. So what you're broadcasting out, and then God or the universe, whatever you believe to be true, without judgment, without favoritism, simply matches the signal and sends it back to you. This is not woo woo. I'm telling you, step by step, I've done it myself and I'm teaching you from experience, not just from what's in a book. Okay? So, what signal are you sending out? Now, I get caught up so much then thinking, oh my goodness, I thought a bad thought. I thought that that's going to happen. Is it going to happen? It's your the most dominating thought. And this is where I have, even all my clients, reminding themselves on a daily basis, set your alarms, reprogram or reprogram and reprogramming. So this is not even just wishful thinking. This is universal law. It's just like gravity is a law. You do not have to believe in gravity for it to work. You do not have to understand it. It works regardless. So this is the law of assumption. It works exactly the same way. Exactly the same way. And as I shared yesterday, the power of awareness. And I love Neville. Oh my goodness, some of the absolute greats. I love Neville and Wallace D. Waddles and oh my goodness, there's just so many I couldn't even start telling you. And at the beginning, I wanted to read as much. I wanted to grab all the information and all the information and tell me more and tell me more. But that information was just held in my conscious mind. So what happens is Neville, he spent his entire life teaching one thing. That's it. He spent his life teaching one thing. I'm just seeing a wee message here, 1 second. It flashes up and then goes away. That's it, sending out a signal through speech. I believe I'm abundant, but thinking I don't believe it's possible. Completely, that's your double binding. So if you're saying one thing and actually believe in another, so how do we change that underlying belief? As Neville says here, even he spent his entire life in the one teachings. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. So think about it. Your end goal, right? Where you want to be, how you want to be living. And you can only think from your present results now. You can only think as far as your imagination will allow you. And we know we've got that cap of the most money we've ever earned in a year. So if we can only go as far as that imagination can go and stretch it and wouldn't this be nice and wouldn't that be nice and want to, really developing your imagination and assuming that wish was true. It's not wanting it to be true. Okay? It's not hoping that it's going to be true. Not even working towards it. Because there's a different feeling, okay, from Christmas Eve, thinking about your presents, until Christmas morning when you have your presents. So if you're thinking of getting there, you're always going to be getting there. If you're thinking it's so good, I'm on the brink, it's just about to happen, it is just about to break through, you're always going to be on that brink. So we have to go to after we have received it. How are you living? Not working really hard towards it. And see if anyone says to me, yeah, I am really putting in the graft, I'm really doing the work. The work is actually being, not doing. And this, a lot of us get caught up in the actual doing of we have to be in the office, sitting behind the desk. I spent all morning sitting out in my backyard. The sun was shining, the birds were singing, the butterflies were flying around. But my vibration was still one of abundance, of prosperity. I was actually being in the moment. Okay? Not feeling that I had to be stressed out, not feeling that I had to be, try and do, rush about and organize things, but it was actually being her. So your imagination is the only redemptive from every limitation. I want you to think about that. I'm constantly working on my imagination all the time. So that's the feeling of already having it. Your imagination is not fantasy. Okay? That's one of your most amazing tools that you will ever have. And oh, there. So we have got all these gifts, okay? These phenomenal gifts. And this just popped into my head there now, and I want to actually there read it to you guys. This is a book called U Squared, and it is from Price Pritchard. And it's only maybe about 36 pages, but it's such a powerful book. And it talks about quantum leaps, okay? And quantum leaps for me is just, you never know that you're going through a quantum leap. It's you're doing the one consistent thing every single day towards your goal. It is shifting a belief, shifting a behavior, a thought that doesn't serve you. But just what I'm telling you there about your imagination, it is not fantasy. It is the most amazing gift that you've been given. And it's one of your higher faculties. Now, we can talk about our imagination, or intuition, or will, or reason, or perception, or memory. They're all our higher faculties. What you imagine with feeling and with belief, with consistency, okay? What you're doing is you're literally calling that into physical form. If that's all that you did, imagination, with the feeling attached to it, with the belief that it is yours, and you're doing that consistently every day, you are using some of your amazing gifts. So, as part of this that I wanted to read to you, you have many gifts that you've never even opened. These are gifts of talent, ability, and reach that are yours for the taking. The people we call gifted are different from the crowd in one very special way. They have accepted their gifts. They let it happen. The high achievers, the persons that you admire, are those individuals who opened their gifts. These winners have more gifts because they have claimed them. They have took them out of their wrapping and they have used them. What gifts are you not using today? Are you using your imagination for you or against you? Are you imagining the worst case scenarios? Old Melanie was a master at worst case scenarios, especially at 2 o'clock in the morning, lying wide awake in her bed, worrying about payments and bankruptcies and closing the businesses and what was going to happen and what people is going to think. And one thought interlinks with the next thought, guys. So if you start your thought process, and at times I would have woke up at that time, times I would have been still lying awake, and I'm only going back as like it's such a short time. It was only 7 years ago. Time keeps moving. So every single time that I was lying there and I was thinking worst case scenarios, was I creating that in my mind? I created myself to be sick. I created anxiety in my body. I created me collapsing on the pavement more times than enough, in and out of hospital, anxious, worried, stressed. And that's when the breaking point came that there had to be a better way to live. So I was imagining the worst case scenarios. And so many of us aren't told that we can actually shift that. So instead of imagining the worst case scenarios, some of us imagine being rejected. They imagine feeling, oh my goodness, I imagined everything. I imagined the conversations that other people was having, what they were going to think. I was imagining then, oh my goodness, what happens if I stay stuck? And they wonder why. That is exactly what keeps showing up. And it will keep showing up. Remember the saying, what is it, like attracts like? So how I was feeling, the thoughts I was having, and I wasn't aware that I could actually change my thought process. I could change the thoughts I was having. I could change the feelings in my physical body. Yes, at the beginning it was difficult. I'm not going to sit and say, oh, I was just being positive all day long. It was retraining my thought process and reminding myself over and over and over and over again. It's like learning how to walk. You take a couple of steps, you fall down. You take another couple of steps, you fall down. And this is exactly the same thing. You start thinking what you want to think. Rejecting. At the beginning, I was rejecting negative thoughts all the time. And I don't even use the word negative thoughts. It's more like, for me now, it was weak thoughts. Thoughts not in alignment with who I was becoming. And I imagined I had that little tennis bat. Sometimes it was a baseball bat. Sometimes it was literally something else. I kept batting that thought away. So Today, we're going to flip that completely. Wallace D. Wattles and the Science of Getting Rich, and I'm throwing a lot of books at you today, but Wallace D. Wattles, I'm studying that. I've studied it numerous times. But he wrote in The Science of Getting Rich, there's a thinking substance, okay? There's a thinking stuff from which all things are made, okay? So, in its original state, so if you imagine you're thinking, you're pulling your thoughts from this thinking stuff. In its original state, it permeates and penetrates, and it fills the interspaces of the universe. A thought in this substance, it produces a thing that is imaged by the thought. So I had to read that a million times. Literally read it a million times, and I know it probably off by heart now. Basically, what it's saying is a thought held with the feeling and belief. So you've got a thought, and you wouldn't think a thing if it wasn't possible for you to achieve a thing. So a thought that's held with feeling and belief, it produces a thing that is imaged by that thought. So you're not waiting for your life to change so that you can feel better. You feel better first, and then your life changes. And then this is the principle that so many people have backwards. They think, well, when I have the money, I'll go and do that. You haven't made even a decision that you want that. I've heard so many people saying, yeah, I'm going to travel the world when the money shows up and when this happens. Make the decision first, and then you're opening the space for the money to come. So that was the biggest shift. Even the likes of people say, okay, I'm going to feel really abundant. When I have money, I'm going to feel really abundant. When maybe the relationship that they're in at the moment is of lack. So they have to feel abundant first to let the money come. Or they would say, okay, when I have the relationship, I'm going to feel so loved. When I have the body that I want to have, I'm going to feel so confident. But that is not how it works, guys. You feel abundant first. You feel loved. You love yourself and you feel loved first. You feel confident first. And then, because you are now vibrating at the frequency of abundance, of love, the physical reality then is going to have no choice but to match that. I criticized myself, the way I talked to myself. Oh my goodness, I really disliked who I was. So first and foremost, I had to learn to love myself. And I remember Bob saying, you look in the mirror. You look in the mirror and tell yourself how amazing you are. You look in the mirror and tell yourself how phenomenal you are. You speak to yourself as if you are the God's highest form of creation, because that's exactly who you are. So you love yourself so much. And I remember Bob always saying, you love yourself so much that you can kiss yourself. And that's exactly the vibration that I want you all to be on. If it's finances, feel abundant now. There's an abundance of, oh my goodness, there's abundance in this on this planet, but we're not even observing it because we are focused on that one thing. So how do we do this practically? Okay, this is the thing that I want that we all want to know is how do we do it practically? Who do you have to become first of all? But then you've your steps to take. So if you've all got your journal today, that I hope you have, so grab your journal, okay? And I'm going to give you some tools to use. But the tools only work when you work them. We can have all this material, we can have all the journals, but if we don't use them, they're not going to work, okay? So number one, the very first tool that I'm going to give you is your morning state, your practice in the morning, okay? So this is a non-negotiable for me. It's a non-negotiable for anybody working with me, and in my entire home, it's non-negotiable. My daughter's 11 years old and she does this. So every single morning, before you even pick up your phone, because the minute that you pick up your phone, the world is there. You're allowing Imagine just opening up your bedroom door and allowing the entire city or town or the world that you're living in into your bedroom. That's what you're doing. So before you pick up your phone, before you check your emails, before the world gets anywhere near you, spend 5 minutes in a state of real elevated emotion. Okay? And when I'm talking about elevated emotion, I'm talking either love, gratitude, authenticity. So we can start the morning. We can close our eyes. We can take 3 beautiful deep breaths. And when people talk about writing out the gratitude lists, okay, sometimes that is just a task that you're doing. And you're taking a pen and paper and you're writing a list of 10 things. They might mean nothing to you because there's no emotion added to it. So what I'm saying, feel a genuine gratitude just for 3 things. 3 things in your life right now. Not a list, a feeling. Let it move through your body. Okay? Feel yourself actually being thankful. And I always go back to one of mine that I really it hits me every single time I think of it. So Bella, she's got a little teddy. And that teddy has been with her since, oh my goodness, she's probably 2 years old. And the only way I can describe it is when I seen that teddy, I was going, I'm so grateful, Bella, because we have moved country, we've moved house, we do a lot of traveling, but that teddy's very consistent with her. And I looked in at her one morning and the teddy was just literally, it was being strangled. And I just looked in and I thought, I'm so grateful that she's got that teddy. And the feeling within me, once I sat down at the desk and I was journaling out in the morning, I was going, right, why am I grateful for the teddy? And then we went deeper and deeper and deeper until I felt it in every part of my physical being. So it doesn't have to be the money in the bank or the car or the house, or even if it is your home. You can go, okay, why am I grateful for my home? What does my home provide me? And then we go deeper and then we go deeper until you feel it in your bones. Okay? So this is the part of it. This is where I really want you to understand it's a feeling. It's not, I can give you strategies. I can give you processes. I can give you books. I can tell you do this, this, and this, and this. But the feeling's a secret. If you take anything away from today, the feeling is a secret. So whenever we are thankful and we're feeling absolute pure gratitude, what we do then, we step onto a visualization. Now, this is all in the morning, your visualization. I'll drop this all into an email for everyone here as well. So your visualization, okay, of your future life. I want you to see it clearly, not just, oh, I want a bigger house or I want to be doing this or doing that. I want every detail. Where are you? What are you doing? Who's with you? So if I says to you, in 12 months from now, if absolutely anything was possible, anything, where would you be? And it don't just come from your present results now, okay? Well, I'm still going to be here because it's not possible for me to get that amount of money through the job that I'm working. That's you're coming from your present state. So if all and everything is possible, okay? And you could be anywhere without limitation. I've just dropped 10 million into your bank account, 20, 30, 40, whatever that is, right? And you could be anywhere. Where would you be? And your deepest desires of you, where would you want to be? What are you doing? And who is with you? Those 3 things. How does your body feel? Even go into the detail of, okay, what can I hear? What can I smell? And when I'm talking about visualization, it's not just getting a visualization of walking here or doing this or doing that. I visualized, oh my goodness, probably for 2 years, every single day straight, the walk from my home. I live in Upper East Side in Manhattan, right down to my daughter's school. And I walked that every single day, the pathway. I walked through Central Park and back home again. And then when I did it in reality, it was just, there was no massive excitement. It's just, I've done it so many times. I've walked it so many times in my imagination. It just felt normal. It literally felt normal. Then I upped the game then. I was all right, what would I like now? Okay, I would love a farmhouse in the south of France. So what part of France would I want to be? Oh, I wanted to have olive trees. I wanted to have a swimming pool. I wanted the blue shutters. And then I started going into my imagination again. I started visualizing again. I wanted to have the ability to travel between Manhattan and the south of France and still head home back to Ireland whenever I wanted to. Now, this is coming from someone who started their journey and didn't even have money to put milk on the table. So, whenever you shift your belief about yourself and your visualization and get into this, guys, this material works. It works, and I have so much belief in it that I actually give a money back guarantee for any of my clients. If they do not feel different after working 6 months with me, I quite happily hand them the money back. So when we go into that real belief, feeling as if it is already done, you get an idea then, not I want this. Okay? So we're coming in from the detached. It's not that I want this, but this is my life. You don't go into your visualization looking from the outside in. You be in your visualization. Whether it's at home, you walk up and you look in the mirror and you see the reflection of yourself. Whether it is a car, you're sitting in the car, in the driver's seat. You're not looking at it, not looking at yourself. But you go there. You go there because all possibilities is already created. This is what Neville Goddard calls living in the end. Living in the end. And it is the single most powerful practice that I know. Every few minutes, okay? Not just taking it 5 minutes in the morning, but 100% without exception, do it 5 minutes in the morning. Then you can do it in the afternoon. Then you can do it, the more you do it, the better it is. Because your subconscious mind, what you're really putting into, if you want to talk about the formula stuff, subconscious mind, universe, it's all like for like, okay? So if you are really putting out that vibration, that signal on a daily basis, numerous amounts of times, your subconscious mind doesn't know what's true and what's false. It is only going to give you what you are giving it. That's your signal that you're putting out. So what are you going to get back? You're going to get the same back. You're outside. The outer world has to match. The outer world will match the inner world. No, only a second. There's somebody just joining. I still haven't figured out how to to open the doors. But anyway, we're here. So there's a tool two. So that's the first tool. Okay. Tool two is your identity audit. Every evening before you go to sleep. Every single evening. And you may think, oh my goodness, do I have to do this for the rest of my life? You don't have to do it until you don't have to do it anymore. It's like you only had to learn to walk or learn how to drive a car or learn how to ride a bike until you just did it automatically. And this is what we're doing here. You only have to do this until you do it automatically. So the identity audit, as you're closing your eyes at night, so ask yourself, did I show up today as a woman or a man I'm becoming? Or did I slip back into the old identity? Did I slip back into those group WhatsApps? Did I slip back into talking to them negatively? Or was there no judgment? And this is just an honest reflection. This is not to shame yourself. This is just accountability. Because what you measure, okay? What you measure, you are going to improve. And every single time that you acknowledge something, you're going to amplify it. So if you showed up as her or him today, celebrate it. And I mean really, really celebrate it. But if you slipped, that's okay. It is okay. There was mornings that I would have been reprogramming and days that I would have been, being accountable to someone else and set myself a target. One of the things I wanted to do was to read confidently because I had still the reading skills of probably primary school. And I set myself a task of reading every single day for 90 days and creating a reading group and reading live. Went through even Christmas Day, went through my birthday every single morning at 5 a.m. And we did it for 90 days. Now, if you missed a day, you went back to the start and started again. So if you're doing it consistently, you always went back and you did it every day it started at 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days. And it got near the end. And I think there was only a few days, maybe a week left. And what happened? Melanie slept in. And we had to go back to day one again. But this is the thing. This was really all about your reprogramming. So if you slip, that's okay. That's just information. That's acknowledge it and recommit to yourself. Every evening, 5 minutes, non-negotiable. So it's 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes in the evening. Doesn't sound too much, does it? But your old programming is going to try and tell you that that's too simple, you don't need to do that. That's your logic. The work works when you know it, but when you actually do it. It's not enough just knowing it. This is the embodiment practices, and this is the tools and the steps that you take. And then step 3 would be your energetic boundaries. So when we talk about your energetic boundaries, I'm going to talk about what most people never address. Your energy leaks. You cannot fill a bucket, okay, that has got holes in it. And most of us, okay, most of the people I work with is pouring energy into their vision, their goals, their new identity, while at the same time they're leaking energy in ways that are completely unaware of. Where are you leaking your energy right now? Is it a relationship that drains you? It's okay. Every single time, once you shift your vibration, it's not that to blame or to judge anything. Is it maybe a habit that keeps returning? There's a habit that keeps showing up. Maybe it's a habit that doesn't serve you at all. Maybe it's a habit of talking about yourself or to yourself that doesn't serve you. Is it saying yes to things that you're going, oh my goodness, your soul does not want to do? Are you a people pleaser? That's an energy drain as well. Maybe it's news at the moment. Is it you're scrolling? Is it comparison? There's so many different energy leaks here. Are you worried what other people think? Another energy leak. So I want you to write them down. Even take a few seconds now and write them down. The top 3 that comes to you. Be honest with yourself. I promise I will not have anyone share anything. But just be honest with yourself. This is about you. Today's about you. So when you're being honest, because until you plug these energy leaks, you're trying to drive a car without no fuel. And that's all it is. You're filling up this amazing body with amazing energy and you're pouring in like that into this glass, as I always say. But then as we hold in the glass, it's all leaking out. So what's your top 3 energy leaks? Okay. If it's a person, if it's a habit. Okay, so the top 3. And then now I want you to write beside each one of those, what boundary do you need to place there? What boundary do you need to place there? It's not a harsh boundary. It's not dramatic. Boundaries are for you. They're not for other people. Remember that. It's a loving boundary. It's one that honors your energy. Okay? And it honors your energy as that real sacred resource that you have. So again, when we become aware of something, that's when we can change it and shift it. And then we look at tool 4. So the 4th one is the assumption practice. We go back onto Neville again. So the assumption practice. So Neville taught us that we do not get what we want. We get what we assume we are. And as hard as that is to swallow sometimes, it's so true. So what you assume to be true about yourself, about life, about what is possible for you, that is what becomes your reality. Not what you wish for on a vision board. Okay? We can have as many vision boards and we can have as many reminders. They are good, yes, but what you assume to be true for you. So what you actually genuinely, in the quiet moments of your mind, assume to be true for you is going to be true for you. So I want you to look at your life right now. What are you assuming? Are you assuming that money is hard to come by? Are you assuming that you have to work yourself to the ground to be successful? Are you assuming that love, oh my goodness, love like that doesn't happen to a woman like me or a man like me? Are you assuming that it's too late? Oh my goodness, we're only starting our journey. But I want you to write them down again. Write them all down without any judgment of yourself. What are you assuming to be true? And then right beside that, Okay, right beside each one, I want you to write a new assumption. Not the wish, but the assumption. Okay? The assumption. I assume that money flows to me so easily and consistently. I assume that I am deeply worthy of the life that I desire. I assume that I'm just starting my journey. In fact, I'm exactly on time. I assume that the universe or God is always working in my favor. And these are all the assumptions that I integrated with myself. I want you to say them even aloud to yourself. And this is a really important part. This is the most important part, is going from your thoughts, your feelings, but also the action, to act from them. If you're assuming that you have the life that you desire, how are you going to act? It's not faking it till you make it. It's acting from that assumption. Because assumptions only become reality whenever they are lived, whenever they are really embodied, when they inform your decisions. So if you're assuming to be this person that's living this type of life, how would she show up? So they really change how they shape how you speak, how you express yourself, how you move, and also how you respond. Okay? And then tool 5, okay? And this is where everything comes together. It's action, literally action. Everything we've done over these 2 days lives here. So embodiment, we can talk embodiment, we can talk praxis, beliefs and behaviors. Bob would have talked very openly about praxis. And he would have looked at the understanding that your beliefs and behaviors equals praxis. It's very masculine, but I like embodiment. Okay? I like the embodiment of this material, taking the action from it, embodying the material and being, literally being. So acting as if isn't pretending or faking it till you make it. I hate that word. I hate that because it's still putting out there energetically that you're faking it. So more like embodiment is a deep, genuine, embodied decision to lead from the identity of the version of you who you're becoming before the physical evidence arrives. So a lot of us wait until the physical evidence is here before we start acting that way. But because here's the truth, the evidence always follows the identity. It's never the other way around. So I want you to ask yourself right now, how does she speak? How does he show up? Who's the person, like, how does that person who has everything that they desire, how do they talk to themselves? How do they talk to themselves about their life, about money, about love, about, what is possible? Who do they surround themselves with? How do they carry themselves? What do they say yes to? What do they say no to? And this is without any, you can say no without justifying anything. You can say no without an apology. How do they start their morning? How do they end their day? And then you start being that version today. Not whenever you have the results, not whenever you feel ready. You start now because now is creating your tomorrow. Today has been created in the past. Today has been created the last 6 months, the last year, the last 2 years. So we are starting today because tomorrow is being created in this moment. Next month is being created. So we go to that future version of ourselves. What can you do for her or him today? Because ready is not a feeling. Ready is a decision. That's all it is. So before we close up today, I want to give you one final exercise, okay? One final exercise. And some of you will do it and some of you won't. And that's what I've found along my journey. And that's okay. You're exactly where you need to be. But I want you to write a letter. I want you to write a letter from your future self to your current self. So your future self, and it's just so much fun. I've done this so many times. Your future self is 1 year from now. Okay? They have done the work. They have lived these tools. They have designed the life, okay, that they really truly desired. They're standing on it, they're living on it now. And she wants, or he wants to tell you something. So you go there, and what does she want you to know? Or he, you can adapt it. I'm sorry, guys. I don't. So, what does that version of you want you to trust? What do they want you to stop waiting for? What do they want you to let go of? So I want you to write it as that version in their voice from their life. And then I want you to read it out loud to yourself. I want your body, I want you to let your body hear that. Just really let it land that this is possible. Now you're just even writing a letter or you're meeting them for a coffee, and I want you to put it on paper. So tomorrow is day 3. And tomorrow is the most exciting day of all because tomorrow we're going to bring everything together. Your blueprint, your personal blueprint, your roadmap, and the real clear, crystal clear designed intentional life that you're stepping into from this moment forward. So you are going to leave tomorrow with more clarity, more belief, and more probably direction than you have felt in years. So I want you to come clear, crystal clear tomorrow. Come knowing that you have already done the hardest part. You've showed up these last 2 days and you've chosen yourself 2 days in a row. And that is not nothing, that is everything. So tonight, as you fall asleep tonight, I want you to feel the feeling of the wish fulfilled. I want you to see your future self, feel it in your body, assume it's already done. Walk those streets, wherever you want to be, whatever you want to do. Everyone has got a different desire. What I desire in my life is not what any of you desire in yours, and what you desire in yours is not what anybody else desires in theirs. This is your life, this is your journey, and it is your time. So I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. You've got a little bit of work to do. Scan over. I will send you through these questions. My absolute pleasure, Lindsay. Thank you so much for joining. And I will see you tomorrow to bring these all together. I'm excited. So have a beautiful rest of your day and thank you for joining me. Take care.